Hello everyone, and welcome at this video about chapter 10 of the Exploring Strategy book. This video is created after the giving workshop by Minne, Cindy, Sally and Nariman from group 3A. In this video we want to give you some extra information about chapter 10, Organic Development, Mergers and Acquisitions and Strategic Alliances. This chapter of the book focuses on the strategic choices you make, as you can see at the picture. So after you understand the strategic position, you are going to assess the strategic choice you make. Are you going for organic development, mergers and acquisitions, or are you choosing a strategic alliance? We will give you all the important information during this video. First, we will give you an overview on what we are going to explain you during this video. First, we will start with some objectives to see what you will learn during this video. We will move on with explaining what organic development is, the mergers and acquisitions, and the strategic alliances. Then we will compare the three methods by explaining you buy, ally, and do-it-yourself methods. We will end this video with a conclusion and also a small test at the end of the video to see if you understood all the theory and to prepare you for the test. Before we start, we would like to ask you to have a look at the picture on the slide. It is a very nice example that summarizes the chapter. As you can see, they give you three options of strategic options that an organization can focus on. For these strategic options, it is important that you choose a strategic method to work on the strategic option. So, an organization can choose between organic development, mergers and acquisitions, or strategic alliances. Let's move on with the objectives. So after this workshop, you are able to identify the key strategic motives for organic development, mergers and acquisitions, and strategic alliances. You are able to identify the appropriate choices between the three, and you are able to compare the acquisitions, alliances, and the organic development. We will now start with the theory of chapter 10. The first strategic method for pursuing a strategy is organic development. Organic development is a strategy whereby the company builds and develops on its own capabilities. It's actually a do-it-yourself method. Therefore, this method is completely relying on its own internal capabilities of the organization. A lot of organizations introduce organic development if they want to focus on diversification of a product or a service. This method brings a lot of advantages with it. First of all, knowledge and learning. Using the organization's existing capabilities for a new strategy can enhance organizational knowledge and learning. Secondly, spreading investment over time. Organic development allows the spreading of investment over the whole time span of the strategy's development. Thirdly, no availability constraints. Organic development has the advantage of not being dependent on the availability of suitable acquisition targets or potential alliance partners. Then strategic independence. The independence provided by organic development means that an organization does not need to make the same compromises as might be necessary in an alliance, for example. And lastly, culture management. Organic development allows new activities to be created in the existing culture environment, which reduces the risk of cultural clash. But still, the reliance of organic development on internal capabilities can be slow, expensive, and also risky. Coming to mergers and acquisitions. Mergers and acquisitions are typically about the combination of two or more organizations. A merger is the combination of two previously separated organizations in order to form a new company. A very good example of this is the cooperation between Disney and Pixar, where Disney and Pixar were two separate companies before that started the cooperation. Then acquisitions. Acquisitions is achieved by purchasing a majority of shares in the target company. It's practically a company taking over the other company. A good example of this is Microsoft taking over Skype. As you can see in this overview, there are a lot of motives and reasons to choose for mergers and acquisitions. These motives can be strategic, financial, and managerial. First of all, the strategic motives for mergers and acquisitions involve improving the competitive advantage of an organization. These motives are often related to the reasons for diversification in general. Strategic motives can be categorized in three main ways, as you can see. First, extension, consolidation, and capabilities. Then coming to the financial motives. Financial motives concern the optimal use of financial resources rather than directly improving the actual business. There are three main financial motives, as you can see as well. Financial efficiency, then tax efficiency, and lastly, asset stripping or unbundling. Then the managerial motives. These motives are called managerial motives because, as for diversification, acquisitions may sometimes serve managers' interests rather than shareholders' interests. Mergers and acquisitions may serve managerial self-interest for two types of reasons: personal ambition and bandwagon effects. Despite all the good motives and reasons to start an acquisition or a merger, mergers and acquisitions frequently grab the headlines as they involve large sums of money and very public competition for shareholder support. Moreover, overall the average performance of acquisitions is unimpressive, with around 50% of the acquisitions that failed. In terms of ownership, there are two main kinds of strategic alliances: equity alliances and non-equity alliances. Equity alliances involve the creation of a new entity that is owned separately by the partners involved. The most common form of an equity alliance is a joint venture, where two organizations remain independent but set up a new organization jointly owned by the parents. Then non-equity alliances are typically looser, without the commitment implied by ownership. Non-equity alliances are often based on contracts. One common form of contractual alliances are franchising, where one organization gives another organization the right to sell the franchise's products or service. Then there are also four motives for strategic alliances, as you can see in the picture. First, the scale alliances. Here organizations combine in order to achieve necessary scale. The capabilities of each partner may be quite similar, but together they can achieve advantages that they could not easily manage on their own. Then access alliance. Organizations frequently ally in order to access the capabilities of another organization that is required in order to produce or sell its products and services. Collusive alliance. These can be seen as a form of access alliance, but involve organizations at similar points in the value network, combining their distinctive resources so that they bolster each other's particular gaps or weaknesses. Then lastly, collusive alliance. Occasionally, organizations secretly collude together in order to increase their market power. By combining together into cartels, they reduce competition in the marketplace, enabling them to extract higher prices from their customers or lower prices from the suppliers. So it probably will be clear so far that all three methods of organic development, mergers and acquisitions, and strategic alliances have both their advantages and disadvantages. There are also similarities between them. If you look at the picture, you can see the differences between the three very well. Organic development means staying single, an ally can be seen as dating partners, and a merger or acquisitions as a marriage. Now, to help you choose between the three theories, it is important to focus on the four key criteria: urgency, uncertainty, type of capabilities, and the modality of the capabilities. We will now give you an explanation of buy, ally, or do-it-yourself matrix, which you can help choosing between the three. The key message of this figure remains nonetheless, it is important to weigh up the available options systematically and to avoid favoring one or the other without a careful analysis. Now coming to the conclusion of this video. If you paid well attention, you probably know now how to identify the key strategic motives for an organic development, mergers and acquisitions, and strategic alliances, identify the appropriate choices between the three, and compare the three. This is the end of our video. We would like to thank you for watching and good luck with the strategic management test.